We want to welcome most of the nation to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers taking the opening kickoff and have run 4 plays to this point, already advancing to the New England 21. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms and Tracy Wolfson. Here's Aaron Rodgers, second throw of the game. But this is some matchup here. Brady and Rodgers for the first time starting against one another. Then you have the duo of Revis and Browner, and what will they do with Nelson and Cobb? And then, of course, you've got a pair of coaches, each of whom have won Super Bowls.
Jim, I think when you look at this opening drive, it opens your eyes up. The pass coverage very focused on the wide receivers. 2 guys on Jordy Nelson. Does that leave enough defenders to stop the run? One of the reasons why they got down the field so quickly with Eddie Lacy.
Brady, last year, 8 years ago, when he threw 4 touchdowns in a 35-0 New England win.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Walmart. Make walmart.com your only place to shop on Cyber Monday. And by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network.
The temperature has been dropping here since 9 o'clock this morning when it was high of 34. It should be close to 10 by the end of the game. Last week on the ground at Minnesota, and he's off to a good start here.
Well, he's off to a good start. And I'll tell you the other guy, Corey Linsley. We always talk about quarterbacks and running backs, but the center for Green Bay, 2 big blocks, allowed Eddie Lacy to pick up those yards and it led him to a field goal.
Well, you're talking about Linsley, drafted in the 5th round out of Ohio State, their center. You talk about Aaron Rodgers. I was mentioning it's been 2 years since he last threw a pick at home. Look at his career touchdown to interception ratio, best of all time, and Brady is second.
Yep, how about that? You know, they both learn to play. They go to the edge where they can use their skills, but they never take unnecessary chances. And Aaron Rodgers, accurate thrower, and if he doesn't like what he sees, he just moves around.
Tonight, after 60 minutes, Téa Leoni stars in the new hit drama Madam Secretary on America's #1 network, CBS.
Well, they're running the football well. The one thing I haven't seen so far is these wide receivers, Cobb.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Tap into the full power of your Fidelity Green Line. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife as you look down at historic Lambeau Field. Curly Lambeau once had 14 consecutive winning seasons. Belichick has 14 now. Now, look at Aaron Rodgers, who's been handing it off with his right hand.
Noticed it the last drive, and boy, I can see why.
Fell. A reminder, Thursday night football. Tony Romo and the Cowboys. This will be a big game for them to try to bounce back after the loss on Thanksgiving Day to the Eagles, taking on Matt Forte and the Bears from Soldier Field. We'll see you Thursday night. Dallas, Chicago, and holds them to 2. Now, the Packers have been a first-half juggernaut at home. The last 4, we were here for this one, Minnesota, 28-0 at halftime, 28-3, 42-0 at halftime against Chicago, and 30-6 against Philadelphia. Tonight on CBS, Simon Baker is back for the final season of The Mentalist. Tonight after Madam Secretary, only CBS. Just seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Packers have already put up 209 yards, and that is even without any yardage added to the cause by Cobb or Nelson.
Yeah, well, you know, they told us they loved their matchups, and I think they knew, or they told us too, they were expecting exactly what they're getting on the defensive side. Devontae Adams, how about that?
Amendola takes it at the 10. And is tackled at about the 28 by Morgan Burnett. Let's go back down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. We talked about the cold temperatures today. Both of these quarterbacks very good in this weather, but both prepared differently. I spoke with Tom Brady, said it's all about keeping that right hand warm. As for Aaron Rodgers, he told me he likes the cold weather. He likes the grip on a very hard, inflated football. He says he keeps keeps his hands warm with 4 or 5 warmers, but it's all about his feet. 2 pairs of socks and a warmer inside. That's what I'm doing. I'll let you know how it works.
That's right. Tracy's experimenting to tell us how the quarterback feels. She put all those hand warmers in her feet today.
Yards by the Patriots in that first quarter. This is the kind of start New England feared. 13-0 Green Bay after 1. We'll return after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Then the last one from 6 yards out. They go 73 yards in 2 minutes. Being shut out in the first quarter. That was the first time in 24 quarters the Patriots had not scored in a quarter. But here they come back.
5 letters here for everybody out there in Packerland. R-E-L-A-X. Relax.
That is classic Belichick right there after the Kansas City game.
That's what we're in. It's every week. We're a prisoner of the moment.
Yep.
And since those 2 things happened, look what they've both done. It's just outstanding. The yards per game, the points, the turnover margin. But we jump to too many conclusions very fast. We all do it. I'm guilty of it. And, you know, it's a long season. We were coming up with all these scenarios in week 3 and week 4. Well, we'll see. You talk about Devontae Adams on the outside going against Logan Ryan. The right side, nobody's open. So what do? They go to the rookie, top of the screen, a little double move, and could have been called pass interference. So they stack the receivers to get him away from the contact, and that was just enough to let him get by, and Aaron Rodgers put it on the money.
Well, thanks, Jim. We saw Packers cornerback Sam Shields take a hit earlier. He was taken to the locker room. He is being evaluated for a concussion. Jim?
Tonight, are you worried about your credit card information, that it might be stolen this holiday season? You ought to be. And 60 Minutes shows you why. Tonight, only CBS. That was Rule to Pass.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com. Bose, official sound of the NFL. And by Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Coming up, the Verizon halftime report with JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. All the latest scores and highlights, and a preview of the Thursday night game on NFL Network, Dallas and Chicago. That's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. NFL Play 60 encourages kids to come out and play for 60 minutes a day. To learn how and to find great play ideas, visit NFLRush.com/play60. That last play before the 2-minute warning, Rob Gronkowski exerting his will and power against that Patriot defense, setting up New England first and goal at the 2.
Putting the pressure on. Well, the one thing when you watch Tom Brady, not a lot of zone coverage against him so far, because he'll just carve that up. But he can go from one side of the field to the other, looking at his receivers as fast as any QB in the league.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Interview, starring James Franco and Seth Rogen, in theaters this Christmas. And by Stella Artois. She is a thing of beauty.
We are back at Lambeau Field. A couple of guys who grew up in Northern California, grew up about 190 miles apart. Both raised as big 49er fans, putting up the kind of performance you would have expected. First time they meet.
Yeah, California guys playing in the, in the part of the country where there's a lot of cold weather, but they have all the attributes to make them survive. Big hands, long arms, help to throw the football very well in these kind of conditions.
In fact, the Packers had 5 drives in the half. They score on all 5. 2 touchdowns, 32 yards to Richard Rodgers, 45 yards to Jordy Nelson. and 3 Crosby field goals. 23-14 at halftime. We go down to Tracy with Coach McCarthy.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, 347 total yards in that first half. You expected this coverage. How have you been able to mix it up, though, to have success there?
Well, we're just running our offense. Aaron's doing a great job keeping us in clean plays. You know, we're just trying to spread the ball around, go through the reads.
How about defensively? What have you liked from your team in the first half?
Well, you know, the stops early were good. We got tackled better, and obviously Gronkowski's been a problem for us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, thank you, Tracy. New England will receive the second half kickoff. Through 2 quarters, Green Bay leads it 23-14. We're back with the Verizon halftime report after this message. And a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
We said before that last drive, which one of the main points of this game for the New England defense, keep Aaron Rodgers in the pocket. When he stays in there, at least you got a chance. When he gets outside, his running ability, which we've seen a couple of runs, and the fact that he can throw the football so well on the run, that's what they got to stop. You either do it by put a spy on Aaron Rodgers, which I thought they would do, or you start blitzing. And if you start blitzing, man, that's dangerous.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. I had a chance to speak with Bill Belichick coming out of half. He didn't say much, but what he did say was similar to what you guys were talking about. He said we need to do a better job of containing Aaron Rodgers, and he said that first half was just full of mental errors. Jim?
Belichick's team taking on another division leader after the last 3 weeks, blowing out teams that were in first place in their divisions. Here are the first half numbers, staggering numbers when you look at total yards by the Packers, Phil.
Well, listen, they did the opening drive. It was a run game. Then they just opened it up. They had a couple double moves. They got Adams involved. Then they had the unique plays with Randall Cobb. And, of course, the backbreaker for the Patriots was Jordy Nelson on the last drive before half.
Just a reminder, the SEC championship on CBS is Saturday. Number 1 Alabama takes on Missouri for the SEC title. And then Saturday evening, Fresno State and Boise State will meet for the Mountain West championship. Boy, that was some Alabama-Auburn game yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was exciting. Hard to believe Alabama in a scoring contest like that, but they won. Missouri, very impressed how they played, too, yesterday against Arkansas.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Back for the Packers' first possession of the second half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. New York Life Insurance Company. And by new Amazon Fire TV Stick, the most powerful streaming stick.
Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife, with these visuals provided by the great Bob Michelson. Here's Husky. Let's go back down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. You mentioned Julian Edelman. I've been watching him since he came off the field. He's tried to run. He's tried to get on the bike. He's tried to stretch it out. It is the left side of his left thigh right now. He's stretching it as well. He does have his helmet on. No official word yet from the Patriots, so just keep an eye to see if he goes back in.
We're back third quarter, same score we had at halftime. What about adjustments that you've seen here in the second half?
Well, you know, one thing, it's cold here. And I think what's impressed me, it really hasn't affected play at all. Both quarterbacks handling it well, the wide receivers. And
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Game of War. Play free now. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer.
A little over 80,000 on hand at Lambeau here in Green Bay, a city with a population of about 100,000. Gain of about 4, maybe 5. College basketball, our season premiere, right here in the state of Wisconsin next Saturday. Frank Kaminsky will lead number 2 Wisconsin against in-state rival Marquette right here on the road to the Final Four. CBS Sports next Saturday. 3rd and 1 coming up to start the 4th. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Stripped out of his hands by Arrington. How about the time Rodgers has had to throw?
Well, what do? If you charge him, he'll go around you. How about that pump fake? Then throws on the run. It's just something he does incredible. He's incredible at it. How about this pump fake to hold on to the football, then just flicks it over the top of everybody. Hits Rodgers in stride, but that's just a few. We had a lot of plays to choose from. No quick pressure on him. When he moves, nobody able to chase him down.
Is impossible to tackle. Just in fact go back to a game here in 2011 when he was a member of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Just look at this run, going in the same direction they are right now. A career-long 54-yard touchdown run at the time. Ryan Allen. Brady's 2nd touchdown of the game. They both have ended up in the hands of LaFell. Brandon LaFell in high school. Josh Gordon was at his high school, a freshman when LaFell was a senior. He goes to LSU. He's got guys like Dwayne Bowe in front of him.
Yep, never was the man. You know, Steve Smith at Carolina, he comes here, now you are the guy. He's the #1 outside receiver on this team without question.
By Collins and Chung. And a reminder, Week 13 continues tonight. Broncos and the Chiefs. That's a good one on NBC. Then the Dolphins and the Jets will tangle on ESPN tomorrow.
Tom Brady really just living and dying with his defense as he walks up and down the sideline. Very involved.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by PlayStation 4. Greatness awaits. T. Rowe Price, understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer.
We are back. Both Chung and Hightower were injured on that last play. And they're making Chung go out.
That's right. Play was stopped because he was injured along with Hightower. 3rd down here. What do you do on the defensive side? I think you do what you did the last play. Make sure you keep the quarterback in the pocket and trust your coverage, which has been pretty good all day long.
Well, they hold them to a field goal. The Patriots do. That's 4 red zone field goals now by the Packers, and a drop that would have been a certain touchdown by Adams. But the field goal keeps it a 1-score game. That was just huge for the New England side. Ball skips into the hands of Amendola. And he's near the 30. Some wild action earlier today. How about the Chargers? The Superchargers 10 down on the road in the 4th and rally to beat the Ravens. They'll host New England next Sunday. And the Saints 0-3 on a 3-game homestand. Go on the road, win at Pittsburgh. How do you figure? J.J. Watt caught another touchdown today as the Texans took out some frustration on the Titans to get back to 500 on the year. And Atlanta back to JB in New York.
Julio paced the Falcons.
And what a day he had, JB. 10 catches, 189 yards, 1 touchdown. Atlanta goes to 5-7. Arizona falls to 9-3.
Back to Jim, Phil, and Tracy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx One Rate. Simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx. And by Subway Restaurants. Subway is saying thanks this season with $2 subs.
Just a reminder, Thursday night we'll be in Soldier Field as Romo and the Cowboys will take on Forte and the Chicago Bears. NFL Network Thursday night, Dallas and Chicago. By the way, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS, regional games, one matchup the Steelers and the Bengals. The Bengals, the only team in the AFC North to win today. What a finish that was down in Tampa. They got a game-and-a-half lead now over Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Plus other regional action, plus, of course, the NFL today leads it off at noon Eastern time as you look at the latest AFC playoff picture. New England right now in the 1 position, having already beaten Denver, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis, the other 3 division leaders.
New England has 1 timeout left. If they stop them here, I'm sure they'll use their final timeout and use a 2-minute warning.
2 minutes to go, and New England cannot stop the clock.
Well, that last play was just a illustration of what we've seen all day long. The protection, lack of a pass rush, whatever you want to say. Aaron Rodgers moving around forward and backwards was the key, and getting extra time to throw and finding guys for big plays.
The first matchup, Brady and Rodgers, it was as good as all the buildup.
Well, I thought they both played extremely well. And Aaron Rodgers, the fact that, you know, the #1 key for New England's defense, stopping him from moving. And he, you know, and I really mean that. His moving, for quarterbacks out there to see what he did, to move forward and then back up, it stops the pass rush. And he did that many times and got a second look at the defense and made some plays.
Another kneel down. New England's 7-game win streak about to come to a close. Had won 14 straight against NFC North opponents. A reminder tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a report on criminals hacking your credit cards, followed by an all-new Madam Secretary, plus the season premiere of The Mentalist and a new CSI on America's most watched network, CBS.
You know, as we talk about this, we got to give a little credit to this Green Bay defense. Probably didn't talk about it enough, but the speed, the hustle, kind of what they build around. They play a lot of guys, and their philosophy came through today for them, and it worked.
Green Bay Packers are going to take it 26-21. For now, because of the record inside the conference, Arizona would still be, at the moment, the 1, Green Bay the 2. New England still the 1 seed on the AFC side, even with the loss and falling to 9-3. Rodgers with 368 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And there's a look at the NFC playoff picture. You got 3 teams right now at 9-3. And the AFC side looks like this. San Diego at 8-4 with its big win today at Baltimore. Look at all the teams in the hunt. Final score is Green Bay 26, New England 21. Tonight on CBS again, 60 Minutes. Madam Secretary, The Mentalist, and CSI. Everybody talked about this being a Super Bowl preview. If it is, or if it was, it's going to be one heck of a game down in Phoenix in 9 weeks' time.
Very exciting to watch. Really enjoyed it. And the quarterbacks, both were special.
For Phil and Tracy, Jim Nance saying so long from Green Bay. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.